Hello everybody, what is going on? My name is Raven. Welcome back to the channel. Now today, we are going to be going back into history. And we're going to be talking about the Salem Witch Trials. Which, as we all know, started in the spring of 1692. Now here's the story. A group of young girls in Salem Village, Massachusetts, claimed to be possessed by the devil. And accused several local women of witchcraft. As a wave of hysteria spread throughout the colony, a special court convened in Salem to hear the cases. The first convicted witch, named Bridget Bishop, was hung that June. 18 others followed Bishop to Salem's Gallows Hill, while some 150 more men, women, and children were accused over the next several months. By September of 1692, the hysteria had begun to abate and public opinion turned against the trials. This is where things kind of get a little scary. The General Court later annulled guilty verdicts against accused witches and granted indemnities to their families. Bitterness lingered in the community, and a painful legacy would endure for centuries. Belief in the supernatural, and specifically in the devil's practice of giving certain humans in return for their loyalty, had emerged in early Europe as in the 14th century, and was widespread in the New England area. In addition, the harsh realities of life in the rural Puritan community of Salem at the time included the after effects of a British war with France in the American colonies in 1689, a recent smallpox epidemic, fears of attacks from neighboring Native American tribes, and a long-standing rivalry with the more affluent community of Salem town, present-day Salem, mind you. Now let's get more into things that would happen. In January 1692, a 9-year-old girl named Elizabeth Parris, who they nicknamed Betty, an 11-year-old girl named Abigail Williams, the daughter and niece of Samuel Parris, who was the minister of Salem, began having fits, including violent contortions, uncontrollable outbursts of screaming. The local doctor, William Griggs, diagnosed bewitchment. Other young girls in the community began to exhibit similar symptoms, including Anne Putnam Jr., Mercy Lewis, Elizabeth Hubbard, Mary Walcott, and Mary Warren. In late February, arrest warrants were issued for the Paris' Caribbean slave, Tituba, along with 2 other women, the homeless beggar Sarah Good, and the poor elderly Sarah Osborne, whom the girls accused of bewitching them. The 3 accused witches were brought before the magistrates, Jonathan Corwin and John Hawthorne, and questioned, even as their accusers appeared in the courtroom in a grand display of spasms, contortions, screaming, and writhing. Though Good and Osborne denied their guilt, Tituba indeed confessed. She was likely trying to save herself from certain conviction by acting as an informer. She claimed there were other witches acting alongside her in service of the devil against the Puritans. Hysteria spread throughout the community and beyond into the rest of Massachusetts. A number of others were accused, including Martha Corey, Rebecca Nurse, both regarded as upstanding members of the church and community, and a 4-year-old named Sarah Good. Tituba, along with several other the trial soon began to overwhelm the local justice system. May of 1692, the newly appointed governor of Massachusetts, William Phips, ordered the establishment of a special court of oyer, that means to hear, and terminer to decide on witchcraft cases for the Suffolk, Essex, and Middlesex counties. Presided over by the judges, including Hawthorne, Samuel Sewall, and William Stoughton, the court handed down its first conviction against Bridget Bishop on June 2nd. She was hung 8 days later on what would become known as the Gallows Hill in Salem town. 5 more people were hung that July, 5 in August, and 8 more in September. In addition, 7 other accused witches died in jail, while the elderly Giles Corey, which was, if you don't remember, Martha Corey, that's Martha's husband, was pressed to death by stones because he refused to enter a plea at his arraignment. Though the respected minister Cotton Mather had warned of the dubious value of spectral evidence, or testimony about dreams and visions. His concerns went largely unheeded during the Salem Witch Trials. Increase Mather, president of Harvard College, and Cotton's father, later joined his son in urging that the standards of evidence for witchcraft must be equal to those for any crime, saying that it would be better than 10 suspected witches may escape than one innocent person be condemned. Amid waning public support for the trials, Governor Phipps dissolved the court of ire intermiter in October and mandated that its successor disregard spectral evidence. Trials continued with dwindling intensity until early of 1693, and by that moment, May Phipps had pardoned and released all those in prison of witchcraft charges. In January 1697, Massachusetts General Court declared a day of fasting for the tragedy of the Salem Witch Trials. The court later deemed the trials unlawful, and the leading justice Samuel Sewall publicly apologized for his role in the process. The damage to the community lingered, even after Massachusetts colony passed legislation restoring the good names of the condemned and providing financial restitution to their heirs in 1711. Now, if you were to go to Salem, Massachusetts in now times, you will see that there is a huge memorial for those that were accused of being witches. Their names are put into stone or brick, whatever they used, and they built a giant memorial for these innocent women and men. And it is very emotional to see these photos, to see all these poor people's names. And I feel really bad about those that were stoned to death, because if you do not know, when you're being stoned to death, they're putting giant boulders onto your body until you die. That is a horrible way to go. Not that being hung isn't a horrible way to go, but all this was just horrible. And all you had to do was just claim someone to be a witch. That was it. And then this whole thing began. I mean, it's a nightmare. But back in those times, this was a very huge deal to them. There's another video I'm going to be doing similar to this one. It seems very interesting. I'm going to record it and put it up. It'll be after this video comes out. So be on the lookout for that. And I do hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit that like button. If you're a fan of history, this is something for you to like. And if you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. We are a growing family of, I don't even know, we're fun, So go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe button, notification bell, so that way you are notified every single time I upload, which is pretty much every single day of the week. And I'll see you all next time.